Well, good morning. It's 4:14 in the morning on Sunday, January 23rd. I'm John O'Flaherty, the B3 burner, and we are headed to the Stockton swap meet at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. And I'm in a parking lot, a commercial parking lot, to warm up the car just so I don't bother my neighbors warming it up in the driveway. I'm probably one of the only crazy people up this morning, beside all the other people going to the swap meet. Well, wait a minute, we're not crazy people. We're classic car enthusiasts. There's a difference. So I'll be back with you when I get to the car show, or the car swap meet. I treat it like a show because it's nice to be able to go somewhere where it's not 100 degrees outside, and a show in January, or an opportunity in January, with a show inside of it. It's a swap meet with a show is ideal for me. So I'll catch you later. Well, it was quite the journey out here. Very foggy and not the most fun getting out here, but now that I'm here, it'll warm up, the sun will come up, and hopefully the fog will go away by the time I'm ready to leave. So I'm here at the show right now, or the swap meet, and lots of other people showing up here as well. Well, here we are at the Stockton show, but it's not without its coldness. It's about 37 degrees outside, and you see people walking by with car parts. And remember, it's a swap meet, not just a show. And there we go. Got a little bit. Somebody's parked back over here. Got a nice Volkswagen Quantum. 1982 Quantum parked over there, and here comes something pretty nice. Well, I'd like to have put background music in here, but I don't want to risk a copyright strike, so I'm going to have to narrate these pictures. So I started off, this was taken shortly after 6 o'clock, and it was foggy on the way up there, and even when I got there, I had to be directed to find a space. I could hardly see what was in front of me, but once I got parked, I was feeling much better and more at ease. The taillights you see there are the vendors on their way in, as well as some people who came down here and then got turned around and wanted to park somewhere else. You can see on the far right that somebody with the blue ringed headlights is parked over there. I'll show you more cars with ringed headlights later, but this was basically the intro to the show. Here's a 1979 Chrysler Cordoba. The owner is very proud of this car. It's all original and in excellent condition. It looks like the sun's shining, but that's a street lamp. Don't let that fool you. It's still foggy and cold. Here's the Cordoba from the back. You can see he belongs to some sort of car club. In the rear window it says MC. He's got some sort of insignia. Car looks just as nice from the back with the tail lights and the backup lights in the bumper. You can tell it's a stock California correct 1979 car with the 6-digit series starting with the letter X. Here's the front of the car from the other side, and you can see that he's got some framed pictures there. And if we take a closer look, those aren't just any framed pictures. They appear to be framed color swatches, possibly a dealer brochure, and some advertisements. As it continues to brighten up, it's probably about 7:15, 7:30 in the morning, something like that. You can see more people are starting to park opposite where I was parked, and there was even some new cars representing a Camaro with its headlights on and a Dodge Charger or Challenger. I can never tell those apart. A couple of guys who arrived there, probably some of them own those cars, just sort of chitting and chatting with their friends in the middle of the road. What you don't see are the steady stream of swappers that were walking by. Really, there were two different types of people that came: those that wanted to show or sell their cars, and the swap meet people. The swap meet people were continuously walking back and forth. You just don't see them in this particular frame. Now I bring your attention to the cars beneath the horse mural on the side of the building, especially the ones on the far right. We'll talk about those as we get closer, but those are some gorgeous cars and have some wonderful history about them. It looks like everybody's gathering around a Chevy Bel Air, taking a good look at it, and to the left of it, or to the right of it from the car's perspective, to the left from our camera perspective, is the Dodge Hellcat or Demon or Charger Challenger. In the car show hobby world, usually filled with 30s through 60s cars, sort of unusual to see an 80s car. In fact, some people walked by it and scoffed and said, "What the heck's that doing there?" Well, they shouldn't have laughed, because this guy actually took a prize. It's a very unusual car. You don't see these too often anymore. This is a 1982 Volkswagen Quantum, complete with yellow wall tires. The owner liked that look and also put on his own wheels that were unique and aftermarket. In Europe, they call those Volkswagen Scirocco's, but that particular year, when it was imported to the United States, it got the badge name Quantum. The Datsun 200SX had a very similar grille design with rectangular headlights with similar treatment. So that, I think, was more of a sign of the times in both the Asian and European car markets than anything else, but a pretty good looking car. I don't have any other pictures highlighting the back of the Scirocco, so I have to include this one that has my car partially blocking it, but the rear of the Scirocco has the European correct amber rear turn signal lights that would have been required in Germany, and you'll notice that he also has the D ferry shipping label, which stands for Deutschland, showing it's a German car. And here's the only token picture of my car. I figured I had to take at least one of them, toot my own horn, so to speak. Windows rolled down. It's about the only car I can think of. It's so hot on the inside. I could drive with the windows down, pulling up into the gate when it was 35 degrees outside at 5:30 in the morning. Something's wrong with the heater damper. It's not closing, so I'm getting full heat from the heater core. Got to figure out how to stop that. Car did well. It didn't win anything, but I think it had a good showing, and people enjoyed and appreciated seeing it. And using the wide-angle lens, here's another picture from behind my car looking at the overall scene. You can see the Scirocco, you can see the back of my Cadillac, and you can see a 55 Hot Rod. I don't know my 50s cars real well. To me, everything looks like a Chevy Bel Air, but I'm sure it's not. But that was the guy parked next to me. I didn't get to talk to him too much. He sort of disappeared into the abyss and went around probably looking at car parts. We'll talk more about the cars to the right when I show those pictures. Now, when I first pulled in at 5:55, this guy and I were the only two people parked in this parcel of grass, and he was saving the spot to the left of him for the guy with the 55 hot rod. This was a nice car. Unfortunately, embarrassingly, I have to admit that I don't recognize what it is, unless I saw the badge, but it has the classic original shaker hood. I want to say maybe not a Camaro, maybe some sort of a Dodge or Dodge Charger. No, that's not what they look like. Anyway, it was a really nice looking car. Definitely built for racing. I know I'm going to catch hell for not knowing what that last car was, but I know what this is. It's a Chevy El Camino in excellent condition. His engine is cleaner than my interior. Some people work really, really hard to get that looking good. By now the sun's starting to come up, but it's still cold and gray, and certainly the sky hasn't cleared yet, but it will soon. Very nice looking car. Now things get interesting on the opposite side from where I was parked. This is a 80s, I think a 1985 or 86 Monte Carlo, a Chevy Monte Carlo SS. And I believe Chevy was kind of working toward the same look that Buick was with the Buick Grand National. To me, the two looked very much alike, and beautiful profile in the front. Moving to the rear of the car, you can see some nice pipes coming out, custom wheels, wonderful looking tail lights, and nice spoiler, kind of a scooped edging to the deck lid, the trunk lid, all reminiscent to me of the Buick Grand National. Like I said, I think Chevy and Buick and GM in general was working on that look. Grand Nationals eventually turned out to be more of the valuable car, but this is a darn good looking car as well. Here's a beautiful 1964 Oldsmobile convertible with a nice new convertible top. In fact, the guy was really concerned about parking under trees across the way before he changed his mind and moved over here. His friend wanted to stay under the trees. I don't know why. It's not like it was summertime, and it's sort of wet and dewy, and the trees were dropping sap and all kinds of crap. And he says, "I'm not parking my car under a tree. It drops crap on my top." You really can't blame the guy. Eventually, him and his friends moved. I think one of the guys stayed put. He wasn't as concerned about his car getting damaged. And here's the same Oldsmobile from the rear. Again, nice straight chrome tip pipes, personalized license plate. I don't know if that's a personalized plate or one of the new yellow on black ones. Nice custom wheels. Love the treatment between the two sets of tail lights of the where it says Oldsmobile with the metal applique. Just a really good looking car. Okay, here's a closer look at the red and white, I think 56 Chevy Bel Air. This took home at least one prize, if not two. Might have taken home Best of Show, I'm not sure. By the way, Stockton is one of the few, if only, swap meets that actually has a car show with prizes that they give away. Usually a swap meet just has a sales corral for people who want to sell their cars. This car did very good. You can tell it's in excellent shape. Okay, here's our contingent of newer cars. This is the tricked out, highly customized Dodge Charger with the hideaway headlight grille. It looks like it might be, I think it's supposed to simulate a bra over the front fascia. Maybe it is, maybe it's just painted that way, but those wheel covers are definitely unique, and it's got a nice paint job as well, with the red stripe, white on top, black on the bottom. And here's our newer late model Chevy Camaro, again tricked out with some nice custom wheels, or unless those are factory standard, they could be a factory option, I don't know. The comes with fog lights, an excellent day for using them, I have to say. And a lot of car shows put a limitation on the years, how new a car can be, but this one, they obviously didn't care. New cars were welcome as much as older cars, and it was interesting seeing the great mix that we had there. And now we move from the new back to the old, a nice Volkswagen Bus with multiple windows, the sky windows with the rack on top, very popular in the late 50s to early 60s. Interesting thing about this car, you may notice by the insignia on the side, that the guy works on bikes. In fact, he uses this Volkswagen Bus as his mobile bike repair shop, and when I walked by, he happened to have the inner tube of a bike tire out, and he was testing it for leaks and blowing it back up. So he was doing some work while he was at the show. Killing two birds with one stone, I suppose. And I believe that was probably custom decorated by himself, or he had some help from from some of his friends, but a very unique look, extremely personalized. And I like the step ladder going up the side, and again, like I said earlier, the rack above the sky windows. So now here comes the contingency of the LED ringed headlight cars, and we'll start now with a looks like an Oldsmobile Cutlass, I think, with orange or amber rings in the headlights. I don't quite know how they do that. That's obviously not what you want to light the ground with at night. I think the middle lights up at night, but those kind of act in place of the parking lamps. This guy won quite a few prizes. He's got both his top halfway down and the hood up, and he won big time. He was his car was very much appreciated by everybody in attendance. All right, I want to say a Chevy Chevelle SS. I think it's a Chevelle. I put it right out there where if I'm wrong, everybody in YouTube land gets to see me make a mistake. The personalized license plate is Mudville. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's, again, unique. He's got it on what looks like 22 or 24-inch wheels, low-profile tires. He's got red ringed LED headlights, and I believe it's a convertible. And the personalized license plate here tells me that SS Rich came to show off his car today. He also has the red ringed LED headlights, but he's got quad headlights instead of the duals of the car that we just saw. White stripe, not a shaker hood, but some sort of an air intake that puts that bend or curve in the back of the hood. All in all, a very nice looking car. Another Oldsmobile with custom wheels and air intake on the hood. A nice black on the hood, matches the what looks like a convertible top. Beautiful color combination. It's got a spoiler in the back. Looks like it could be used for drag racing if he really wanted to. I didn't photograph too many pickup trucks, but here's one. Beautiful 1965 Chevrolet. Black on top with a silver bottom. Custom wheels, low-profile tires, and some nice flame work on the hood. And a very nice looking, looks like a tonneau cover in the rear. Beautiful looking truck. And speaking of hardly taking any pictures of trucks, here's a second one. Definitely 50s vintage, beautiful deep red at the doors with a nice lavender flame pattern. I think those are flames up front and going across the border of the hood where the hood meets the fender. Nice tonneau cover as well. Beautiful truck. A lot of cars here were show cars, but this one happened to be for sale. Some people would say that 4 doors is too many doors, but this is a 4-door, and it was going for a pretty penny, as I recall. I think the guy wanted around $19,000 for it, so he must have thought that it's worth that, or that he at least try to get that for it. I'm not exactly sure what kind of a car it is, but it definitely has an early to mid 50s look about it, and that color scheme is definitely very period correct. I don't know if I'd call that an aqua or a light turquoise. It's not peacock blue, but it's kind of in that general family. And for a 4-door car with a B-pillar, not a bad looking car at all. So hours have gone by since all my initial pictures were taken, and here the sun has finally decided to come out, and this zoom shot, this tight zoom shot, gives you a really good idea of just how many people were there. In fact, the zoom shot probably falsifies and makes it look like there's more people in the frame than there really is, but between swappers and car showers and the general public just milling around just to check it out, it was quite crowded. And this was a Sunday. Well, so it wasn't a 2-day show. There wasn't anything on Saturdays, so this was the main day, and this is what brought everybody out. And everybody appears to be enjoying themselves, albeit it started off cold. It's getting close to 11 o'clock now, and these are the latecomers that parked wherever they could find parking up against the planter boxes. Start off with a beautiful black car, late 70s something or other, probably a Monte Carlo, I'm not 100% sure. A Chevy Impala. His front license plate says L63, so that would mean the 63. 63 Impala, very beautiful year, popular year of Impala. A beautiful red car with flames and a skeletal dog lifting his leg on the front tire. Definitely some sort of a Halloween sort of Dias de la Muertes theme going on there. And as the guys walk by, I see Dodger fans and Yankee fans really can coexist with one another. And 2 more views of the Oldsmobile Cutlass, one from the passenger side because it just looks so nice, and again a close-up from the left front looking at those headlights. An amazingly nice car that was well received at the show. And finally, last but not least, this is probably of little interest to anybody else, but I found it fascinating for my own personal reasons. Has anybody ever shown a car in a car show and then seen their own car on somebody else's YouTube video? Well, that's exactly what happened here. This is a freeze frame of someone else's video that they shot of my car. I don't happen to be sitting there. I'm somewhere else, but just kind of funny to see that can happen once in a while. So that's pretty much it. That ends Stockton. Following video, the following week, I'll show you the Turlock swap meet. I'm John O'Flaherty, the B3 Burner. Goodbye.